Hey everybody, this is my first vlog as a recap of the week. It is my first week here in London for my study abroad trip. Didn't really have any major issues in the airport, other than I'm in a rush and don't really want to handle my vlogging or camera or anything while I'm in the airport. I despise the airport and I'm just gonna have to get used to that. I lost my water bottle while waiting for the bus to go between terminals at O'Hare, so that's long gone now, and I ended up buying a new one from Wilco here in Kingston, which is basically their home goods store. Sainsbury is their grocery store, and it has some home goods occasionally, but not a great selection. When I did go to Sainsbury's, I thought that it was overwhelming, not because of the amount of choices, that's normal in America especially, but it was mostly just how new everything was, and I didn't really know what I wanted to get. So I ended up getting some sausages that had some caramelized onions in them, and mashed potatoes, and some other stuff, bread and apples, I think. I think that was it. And the sausages aren't great, but oh well. Once I arrived in Kingston, I ended up getting a bus to the campus, and then had to wait there for a few hours because I was having trouble with getting Wi-Fi. And once I got Wi-Fi, I found out that I had to be to my Airbnb by 4 before my host was going to be gone until 10. So then when I got my taxi from campus to my Airbnb, I ended up having to wait outside for an extra 2 hours, which kind of sucked, but I just ended up playing solitaire on my laptop while waiting. No big deal. My host is really nice. However, she does seem to want to get too involved, asking me, if I'm okay too often. It's kind of weird. I wish she'd just kind of leave me alone sometimes, but it is what it is. The room is kind of small, which is fine because I don't have a whole lot of stuff, but the biggest problem was that it was stuffy the first few days especially, and you can still kind of tell now. Basically, I just had a full nose, and I'm getting a bad cough that's getting worse, and now it's getting better finally. I ended up getting some cough syrup from the Wilco as well, but it's alright. First full day, I ended up getting to go to the King's Tun, which is the one of the bars here in the area, and they were really cheap and everything, but I only got the one drink because the school paid for it, which is cool. So I met some friends there, including the, two of the girls from GV that I had previously met, and then one girl who was the bartender was the girl that emailed me about film stuff, because she was at GV for last year, and then now is back home at Kingston. And then I met some other international students. So on the third day, I ended up going out to Sainsbury. That's when I got some of the food and stuff. Before then, I was just kind of eating out and things, which I enjoy, but sometimes you just need to stay in. And then after that, I was debating whether to go to this park that's nearby that I'm thinking of going to today instead. But one of my friends, Hope, she said, we're leaving soon for the London Eye, and so then I was like, okay, I'll try and meet you there. So I bought a train ticket and everything, and got on the train, and then she lost her data, so she couldn't contact me on WhatsApp. So basically, I just arrived there, and I'd seen it all before, and it was really difficult for me to try and make the best of it because it's such a touristy spot. And once again, I didn't want to really bring out my camera at that point. I missed my first trip when I had a little point and shoot, because then I didn't really give a shit and I could just take it wherever. But it was alright. It was just kind of disappointing that that's how the day went. And then yesterday we went to Brighton, which was pretty cool, and I ended up taking some pictures, but not as many as I'd like, because I've been feeling like I'm on time crunch, really, for the events that are, ran by the school. This was the first field trip for one of my classes, and Brighton's really cool. They had a lot of cool graffiti, and it's a tourist town, and they had vintage stores and things like that. So I got a shirt that you'll see eventually, I'm sure. I ended up eating out a couple places, but the pier was fun. But the main reason we were there was for this palace, and there's no photography in the palace, which makes sense because it is amazing looking. And if you take pictures, then you won't pay to go back. But overall, I think I'd go back to Brighton sometime if I had the opportunity. I probably won't go back this trip though. But it was good. And then we came back. The bus rides were kind of brutal because the way there I was really thirsty and just felt dizzy and stuff because all I'd eaten was bread, and that didn't sit well. So we ate when we got there. I had a Polish sausage. Everyone else tried the fish and chips, but it wasn't very good quality, I hear, because it was an overwhelmingly bad experience with that. Luckily, I already knew that I don't like fish and chips too much, so it wasn't a big deal. The bus ride back was just a little warm still. I was still feeling that from our walk outside, but it wasn't as bad, I don't think. I definitely had to use the restroom, though, after a whole day of walking and eating and yada yada, so that was the not so pleasant part of that. But I held it in enough for me and some of my friends to go out to Nando's, which was a really good chicken restaurant that has different spices and sauces and things. That was really good. And then I just walked home from there. And then today I got to go to the laundromat for the first time. I've never been, sorry, they call it the laundrette. But I've never been to a laundromat before, so it was tricky learning how to do that, really. And then I came back, and I was all sweaty and gross. And here we are. So I may go to the park. I am more likely to film there because it should be fairly secluded and stuff. But yeah, I don't really know how this is gonna go, so we'll see.